Hello everyone, welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin and today we're going to be reading into the energy, insights, and guidance coming in for your week ahead. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so welcome back to the channel, to those of you who join me for these weekly readings every single Monday. I appreciate your support so much, especially during the holiday season, and it's so lovely to have you guys here again today. There's lots of lovely messages, and we got a little bit playful for the piles, so we'll dive into those in a minute. But I do also want to send out a very warm welcome to those of you who are here for the first time on my channel today. It's lovely to also have you guys here too. And just so you know what my channel is a bit about, I use tarot, oracle, and charms to create these videos for you and these readings for you each week. I do weekly readings every single Monday. I also do timeless readings, like ones on your psychic and spiritual gifts and magical abilities, as well as ones on your blessings for the beginning of each month, so you can check out each of those if you're interested. Or if you want, you can also join this community of tarot and charm loving people by subscribing and hitting the bell so that you can be notified of each of these videos as they come out and join this community. So with all of that said, let's go ahead and look at these piles. Alright, so for group 1 here, we have sort of a different theme that I'm going for this time. So I'm going for sort of a fun theme, utilizing different toys, some from my childhood, some that, these aren't specifically from my childhood, but they are toys and different smaller versions of toys that I actually played with in my youth. So I wanted to have that nostalgic feeling that sometimes the holidays brings out in each of us. So today for pile number 1, we have here this little telephone, and it's one of those little toys that you used to it had a string on the back that you could pull it around, and it also actually does ring and dial here. So that is group 1. So for group 2, we have the Lite-brite, and we actually have, it's such a mini little tiny Lite-brite. It even comes with all of the different pieces, which is so much fun. And this one is specifically a little snowflake for the holiday season. So that is group number 2. And for group number 3, we have the beloved and also frustrating Rubik's Cube here. So I don't know if any of you guys wanted to just rip the stickers off and put them all on one panel, but I definitely did. They were difficult, but very fun at the same time to try to match even a row of colors. So if any of you geniuses have figured out how to do a Rubik's Cube, please let me know in the comments below. I'd be so interested. But this is group 3. So there we go, group 1, 2, and 3. So as always, we're going to go ahead and take a deep breath together here today so that you can make a better decision on which pile is for you and which pile your intuition is really speaking to beyond just the visuals. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath together now. So as always, you can choose any one of the piles. There's no right or wrong way to do this. You can choose a pile, change your mind, choose all 3, 2 of them, 1 of them, whatever works for you. Use your intuition on this, as it is a collective reading. You will all read it differently, and that's completely fine and valid. So just speak to your intuition. Feel free to pause if you still have to make your decision. But to those of you who already know which pile is for you, feel free to check down in the description below, where I have lovely, helpful links on which decks and supplies I use, my Instagram, email, how to get private readings, things like that. That'll all be down below, as well as the timestamps, which you can also find within the chapter marks of the video. So if you're interested in any of that, that'll all be down below. But we're going to go ahead and get started with pile number 1. Hello group 1, if you've decided to choose the telephone, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to go ahead and set that down right here for you so you can see it during the reading, as today we are going to be changing it up with some of the things we're using today, so I'll talk more on that in a second. But we are going to be using the charms, the watercolor affirmations, and the Melodies deck, but we are changing it up with a different type of oracle deck, in the sense that I'm going to be using a standard set of playing cards cards, because this was actually the very first deck I used for divination or for tarot cards. And I say tarot cards lightly because you're missing pages and all of the major arcana, but it is a great and easily accessible way if you aren't able to access tarot cards at this time, but you want to get into divination. This could be a really great route for you, but I would recommend getting a tarot deck over playing cards if you are able to. But that is just a recommendation there. But I was really feeling called to use those today as we are kind of playing with the toy theme for the holiday season and gift giving and stuff. But we're also going to be using the Crystal Unicorn deck for your tarot deck of choice today. And I say of choice because I did a poll on Instagram asking all of the community what they would like to see for today's reading, and they chose this specific deck. So if you want to join in on some of those different decisions that we make for each of these videos, or if you're interested in looking into the other things that I offer in private readings, or other sorts of magical content, then feel free to check out my Instagram so you can join in on the fun. But today we are going to go ahead and get started with your messages, Group 1. Alright, so Group 1, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for your week ahead, Group 1. What do we need to know about the energy of Group 1's week ahead? What do we need to know? What do we need to know and look into? What do we need to know for Group 1? Okay, so first off, you have here the 8 of Pentacles. See what else you have in store. So Group 1, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for Group 1. Group 1. Ooh, goodness, okay. You have all your cards. Let's see here. So you got a huge clump that fell in my lap, so I'm not going to take any from those specific cards, but you did have here, fly out after that, the cards of the Star and the 7 of Pentacles. So we will take those. We're also going to go ahead and look into this specific, I don't want to say oracle deck, but minor arcana deck, I would call it. So we're looking for Group 1. What do we need to know about Group 1's week ahead? Any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for Group 1. Alright, there was actually one upside down here, so we're going to go ahead and take that one. You have here the 5 of Wands, the 5 of Swords, rather. So you have the 5 of Swords, or the 5 of Spades in this case. So next we're going to go ahead and look into the C Melodies deck to see what else we can get in. So Group 1, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for Group 1. Any energy, insights, or guidance coming in for the week ahead for Group 1. Alright, and you also hear dance. So it says here, take inspiration from the moonlight dancing on the surface of the sea. And you can see it over there in the corner. So there is dance. Let's go ahead and look into your final message here with the watercolor affirmations, but stay tuned later to see the charms as I cast those later on in the video. So Group 1, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for Group 1. Okay, so you had 2 that fell here, but this one fell upside down, so I'm going to go ahead and just take the top one. And you have here, don't forget to play. How appropriate for the amount of toys and like fun kind of energy that we're going for with this reading. So there you have it. Don't forget to play and dance too. So let's go ahead and start diving into the messages here today and see what we've got here. So it looks like you're really working towards something in your work life or your home life, possibly too, that you're putting a lot of hard work into, because you have 2 pentacle cards here. So you have the 7 of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles. It kind of looks like a cat dog there. I don't know if anyone gets the reference, but with the Seven of Pentacles makes me think you're being very like, go, 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 I want to get something and I want the rewards from it and I'm working really hard, but I'm not actually seeing anything come from it yet. Like, it's not time to harvest. It's not time for you to actually reap the rewards yet, because you might feel like you're trying to jump ahead a little bit too fast. You're trying to move something that isn't ready to move yet. So with the Seven of Pentacles, like, I always think of it as if you were watering a plant. So if you're watering a plant, you obviously want to get, say it's a tomato plant, you want the tomatoes to ripen and get to the point where you can actually eat them, but to get there, you have to make sure you put in the correct amount of care. And you might just be trying to do everything too quickly. So you're fertilizing it and you're watering it every single day, maybe twice a day, and you're trying to make sure it has enough sunlight, but also make sure it's not too cold and all these things. And you're trying to almost overcompensate, trying to get too much done too quickly, and it's pushing yourself a little bit too far. Because you also have the Eight of Pentacles here, which showcases a lot of hard work. As you can see, the Eight of Pentacles is all about hard work, persistence, focus, especially. As you can see, they have all these different projects that they're trying to complete, but it's important to just focus at one thing at a time. You might be feeling like you're in this mindset where, like I said, you're trying to do too many things at once, and these cards are really pointing you towards to focus at one project, really break it down, maybe make a list, schedule things out. If this is in your work life, definitely make sure you schedule things out. Make sure that if you have a lot of projects, especially during the holidays, people have a lot of projects, a lot of things going on outside of work as well, and it can just get overwhelming. So with all of these cards, they're showcasing it's really time to not necessarily just stop the work, but focus your energy on one thing. And then when it's time to get off work, it's time to go to bed, or it's time to settle down, really take that energy and use it as a form of self-care, as a form of downtime. Don't forget to play. Don't forget to give yourself time to really take care of yourself, because I think you've had such tunnel vision, not necessarily focus, as those two can be linked but not necessarily together. In this case, I think it's just, like I said, a lot of chaotic energy trying to get something done, and it's time to renew yourself. So take a bath, take a shower, give yourself a cup of tea, eat your food, make sure you're doing just basic human needs. And then on top of that, also, if you're already doing those things, be sure that you are at least giving yourself the time to process the project you're working on. Put it at a distance for a little while. As an artist, sometimes we can get really close to our work, and this doesn't necessarily mean you have to be an artist, but like, say you were looking at this very, very closely. You're looking at all the little details, all the different things, but sometimes the bigger picture is more important. So what's going on in the bigger picture for you this week? Really break things down. Look at the entire calendar, not just the daily tasks. And I think that will help you to sort of lessen your load, actually see the scope of everything, realize that you have clear plans, you have drive, you have focus. It's just making sure that you aren't overbearing yourself, and really renewing yourself and giving yourself higher guidance. And then also make sure that you're staying inspired. If this work feels uninspiring, if it feels dull, if it feels like it's just a lot, then definitely take that downtime so you can enjoy the little things that you really do enjoy, especially if you aren't able to just change everything up. As these cards aren't really showcasing that, it's more about just realizing there are really lovely things within your work, finding those things, seeking those things out, and making sure that you're still being playful with your work. Because sometimes we can get in this like stuck feeling like I have to do this to get this done, and it has to be done the same way every single time, and there's just no playful energy, and you may have just got lost in the conveyor belt, really, that you're just like chucking things out there just to get them out and not really enjoying the inspiration or why you were there in the first place. So break things down this week, look at the bigger scope. And lastly here, you have the Five of Spades, or the Five of Swords in this case. which can be kind of a difficult card because it showcases you having ideas. This is really important to be sure that you aren't stealing other people's ideas or trying to be too competitive. This can be very competitive, this card. It showcases people, you're trying to get to a goal, you're trying to get something done so much, especially in your workplace, that maybe you are ignoring your family or you're hurting other people in the process, and you're only looking through those glasses, and your perspective is so small, so narrow, that you aren't seeing, the bigger picture, the higher sky, So this is really showcasing to me that you not only need to look after yourself this week, but also look after those that come in contact with you in these projects. Make sure your coworkers aren't feeling like they aren't a part of the project. Make sure to utilize them to the best of your ability. If this has more to do with a project that is for a business, be sure that you take some time to enjoy those that are around you, and make sure you aren't, trying to get to a goal, trying to win, being too competitive in the workplace, that you aren't, seeing the brighter sides of things, the more light sides of things, and pushing the people who really care about you and support you away from you. So those are the big messages here for you today. I'm going to go ahead and do your Charmcast group 1. I really enjoyed using these different decks together. I haven't used them together before, I don't think, so it's been a lot of fun. But let's go ahead and get some more information. So group 1, we're looking for an information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for group 1. Group 1. Okay, so just picking up the ones that fell everywhere, because that's the thing about charm casting. You always tend to have those couple of charms that you're always worried are going to get lost. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and sort these out so that, we can really see the bigger picture here of what's going on. Okay. Right. I wonder if you guys enjoy me figuring these out as much as I do in the process, because it can be really enlightening, but I don't know if it actually shows up for you guys here, or if it translates onto the screen. But let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in so you can see these in greater detail. And yeah, okay. So here in your focus, we have the charm of things working in the background. So these are the cogs, the wheels that work in the background, but it's not things that you are necessarily doing, like that 7 of Pentacles. Like, you got to let the plant grow on its own, right? You can't do all of the things and hope it just grows faster. You can't make the oven work any faster to cook something. You have to wait the hour, So these are steps that are happening in the background. And if you just wait things out, let coworkers help, let other people help, or let just the day pass, things are going to slowly start to build the way that you'd like them to. It's just letting it build slower, letting your guides, if you have any of your spiritual team in the background, the universe, whatever your word is for that, work in the background for you. So you can put in the work too, but they're already doing a lot of it. So you just have to let it happen. You also have the wish locket. So this is like a little, I don't know if you'll be able to see here, but it's a little locket. And it has these little stars, right? It's like these little, like they're stars, but they look like, I always saw it anyway, because this was like an old locket from when I was a kid. It looks like little stars that are actually flowers when I really look at it, but so I always think of this as like you're opening wishes, you're unlocking wishes, you're opening that sort of energy. So if you've had a lot of wishes that you've been putting out, or a lot of manifestation energy, those are being respected and thought through, and those intentions are working towards a goal here. So you just have to wait it out, wait that wish out, especially if it's like a holiday wish or something that you're really trying to manifest. quickly because of the holiday season or anything like that. Things are happening in the background, so don't worry. You also have here the sewing machine charms. So you might be crafting a lot, you might be sewing, but these also, the sewing machine can talk about things working to put two things together, right? Because if you're sewing, you're trying to put two things together and you're trying to do it really well. You're trying to make it so that it can be lasting and strong. So again, this is slower energy. Even though you're using a lot of work and it's going to take hard work, the energy is still of the slower sort of turtle energy, which is actually showcased here with the turtle charm. You also have the heart here. This is like the more cups heart. So I just see with this charm specifically, it's just, even that it's the heart of your entire reading here, is that it's time to take things slower. And when you do, you get to enjoy your emotions again, because I think you've had that tunnel vision, those clouded eyes, that focus and determination that you haven't been able to, again, give yourself self-care or reflect on your feelings of your work. Like I said, you were kind of putting it through the machine, trying to get everything out so fast that you haven't really taken time to reflect on any of that, taken time to realize how far you've even come. Maybe you aren't giving yourself enough pride, give pride in your achievements, give pride in how far you've come, reflecting on all of that. So give yourself some credit this week, because credit is due. So back to the turtle spirit. So I won't speak on this too long because it's already sort of something I've spoke on, but you have the turtle spirit, which is showcasing taking things slower, the slower path, really flowing as well, because it's a water animal, is flowing and letting things flow, versus being defensive as well, especially with the 5 of Swords here. You can be a bit defensive, trying to be competitive, trying to get things done so quickly and so fast that you hurt other people in the process. And this is possibly a cycle that has happened before. You might already be aware of how quickly you try to get things done, or you try to make things happen faster than they need to. So it's important to reflect on that energy again, because your financial or your situation on a material level is going well. It's golden, right? So we've got security in your finances. Things are okay. Especially if it relates to 11 in this case. So there is also the 11, which this could be a number, a telephone number, a street number, or something else that relates to you. 11 also makes me think of just double of something, and again, more wish energy, which I talked about before. So if you have wishes you've been manifesting or working with angels in any way, especially with the wings that are happening over here, for a financial wish, then that could also be manifesting this week. So that's something to keep in mind, because the button is opening versus closing, because you also have this button. It's something that's ready to burst. It's ready to pop. It's a manifestation ready to be birthed into the world, per se. So you also have here the charm of patterns. So this is patterns that happen and repeat in your life, which we already talked about with the turtle spirit here, but you also have it right next to the, sort of 3 of Swords heart, right? Like, it's just like, it's not good. It's an inky heart. It doesn't feel good. It's hurt. It's heartbreak. It's things like that. And there's been patterns of this happening in your life, possibly because of this competitive energy, possibly because you want to win so bad that you don't realize you're hurting other people in the process. So really take time to reflect on what you're doing and how those things that you are doing are affecting those around you. Maybe even talk to them, ask them, have a conversation with them about how you both could work together versus one ahead, or trying to be, the provider or anything like that. Because it seems like there is this selfless energy, because this is the selfless charm right next to it. So you might have been feeling like you needed to be competitive or have this come in, or you're trying to get so much done, even maybe for this financial wish or these financial goals, because you want to provide for your family or provide for yourself. And in doing so, that means you can help other people, but you aren't realizing that you might be hurting them in the process of trying to help them. So it's kind of counterintuitive and counterproductive. So really have those conversations to understand and reflect with them, really get their side of the story. especially if it has to do with a romantic relationship here, which is why I think I was getting that provider feeling if you're already in a marriage or a committed relationship, because you have the romance charm, which is falling on waning side of the moon. So it's time to reflect on that energy, reflect on, beautiful memories with this person as well this week. You also have the charm over here of, this is a very ancient sort of coin that I had to actually get for my Islamic art history class. But this coin does have a language that still continues to speak to this day. So it's about communication, and it's about also finances, right? Because it is a coin. So the fact that both came up kind of in that way is just making me think you might need to be talking to a Capricorn, or you are possibly a Capricorn as well, and talking about those tendencies where Capricorns can get a little bit workaholic-like, a little bit tunnel vision-like. So this is definitely a pattern that has been continuing over time. So it's time to break that, or at least reflect on it so you can make better habits for the future. And lastly here you have the hummingbird and the toy plane. So you have this little toy plane. So this can be being more adventurous. And then I also had that charm of dance and play. And you have the hummingbird, which is about fast, chaotic energy. So I really think it's time to literally dance. It's time to maybe go on runs, possibly, because you might be adventuring out to do running again, or working out, or something like that, where you can let some of that chaotic energy out and put it out towards something that is a better outlet for you. You also have the toy plane, which makes me think of being more playful. So if you have kids, definitely being more playful, more present with them. Enjoying their energy, maybe having them come with you on runs or something like that, depending on their age. I don't know. There's something there that I really see for some of you who already have kids, but those of you who may not, there is this charm which just talks about being more playful in general with your life. So that's really sweet. So with all of that said, group 1, I hope you enjoyed this reading here with me today. Definitely be more playful. Definitely let some of this energy sort of fall away. You can still continue to work on projects, but bring some of that enthusiasm back in. Be a little bit more playful with them, and really see how you are communicating non-verbally and verbally with other people. See how your actions are actually affecting other people in the workplace or in the home. So that's something to look into, and really refresh your space as well. So this can be cleaning your space. This can be bringing in better energy if you do anything. Any way to give yourself self-care and healing is really important as well. Give yourself some more time to be caring to yourself this week. So with all of that said, I hope you enjoyed this reading and got some advice out of it. I really felt like you guys really needed some of that, and I hope you enjoyed these messages. Please let me know if this resonated with any of the charms or with any of the different cards down in the comments below. I would love to hear and enjoy the feedback. Also, please be sure to give this video a like, as it really does help this channel continue to grow and this community continue to grow, as well as in general help uplift the video and let me know that you enjoyed this reading here with me today. And lastly, if you are new to the channel and this is one of the first videos here with me today, or first readings, thank you so much for joining and welcome. I do these weekly readings every single Monday, as well as readings on like your spiritual magical gifts and abilities and other sorts of timeless readings. And lastly, I also do readings at the beginning of each month on your blessings. So if you're interested in that, that'll be all within my channel where you can check it out. But if you are interested and would like to join this community to stay up to date on each of these readings coming out each week, please be sure to subscribe and join the community. I'd love to have you guys here. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading, and I'll stop rambling and move on to the next pile. Thank you so much, Group 1. I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, Group 2. If you've decided to choose this little snowflake, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to go ahead and set your snowflake right down here in the Lite-brite for you today, as we are going to be using the charms, the watercolor affirmations, as well as the Melodies deck. We're also going to be using a different kind of oracle deck today, which is actually a standard card playing deck. But this is the first playing deck that I used for divination entirely. I never really used it for games. It was only as a playing card deck. So this would feature just the major arcana and the court cards, excluding the page. So if this is just a little tip here, if you guys aren't able to get a deck for whatever reason, if you're in the broom closet or if you just can't afford it or whatever your reason is, I would always recommend to get a tarot deck first. But if this is your only option, this is a great option to begin with, as I began with it and here I am. So you can definitely still learn with these standard playing cards. They just don't have as much of the flair or the imagery. But we're going to be using those here today, as well as the Crystal Unicorn deck here, which was actually chosen by my Instagram community and the amazing people there who follow me there. If you're interested, we do polls like this one where you can choose which decks you'd be interested in each of the readings or other fun things, and also other cool events. We just did an event last week on pick a card readings, on pay what you can readings. So there are definitely new things happening there all the time. So check it out if you're interested. And we're going to go ahead and get started with your reading group 2. Almost said group 1. We're moving on to group 2. All right, so for group 2, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for group 2. What do we need to know for group 2's week ahead? What do we need to know about their week coming up? So group 2. All right, there's our first message of the King of Swords here. Let's see what else you have coming in for your week. So group 2 here, you had, where'd it go? You had the Queen of Pentacles. Let's see what your final tarot card is here today. So group 2, just a couple too many, so we're going to keep going. I think that was more to do with a shuffling fail. But group 2, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for group 2's week ahead. The week ahead for group 2. Group 2. You also have here the Page of Swords, all court cards. That's so interesting. We're definitely going to be relying on some of the oracle messages here to see more of the context. So let's go ahead and start looking into some of those. We're going to use the playing deck here. So group 2, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for group 2. All right. So here you have the 10 of Pentacles, or the 10 of Diamonds in this case. Let's go ahead and see your final message here. Actually, it's not your final message, but one of your final messages here with the C Melodies deck. So group 2, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for group 2. Okay, so I'm going to take this one here. You have here ambition, and it has a little spyglass there, and it says, set your sights beyond the horizon. Ooh. And then you also had here patience, and it says here, the tide will come when it's ready, and there's these little turtles there, so you have patience and ambition. So let's go ahead and look into your final message. This is actually your final message before we do the charms later on in the reading. So group 2, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for group 2. All right, so you have quite a few that came up here today. So you already know the answer. And then you also have here, refresh your space. And lastly, life keeps turning. Life keeps turning. So those are the 3 that you have there. So let's go ahead and start unpacking your week here. So whenever a bunch of court cards show up in a reading, I feel like you're having a very social week. You're really talking to a lot of people who might exude this specific energy, or just in general, you might be feeling more chatty or hanging out with your family or friends this week, setting out into other sorts of social settings. Please be safe if you are doing so. The pandemic still continues to exist, wear your mask, those sorts of things. But I do see you being more social. I do see you having a good time with some friends or family, especially people who exude very intelligent energy. So you might even be talking to people who may just be very intelligent people, or people who really love knowledge. They're like the Ravenclaws of your life. But you have the King of Swords here, so it could be a more masculine energy and a very more feminine or even gender neutral energy here with the Page. But there is those 2 different cards being showcased, and then you have the Queen of Pentacles here, which showcases a more motherly, nurturing energy, an energy that is very stable, strong, and level-headed. So those are the different cards or people that might be coming in. And the reason why I say family as well, or workplace as well, is because you have the 10 of Pentacles. And the 10 of Pentacles, or the 10 of Diamonds in this case, is all about like hitting the very top of the chain of like the best things that ever could happen in your material reality. So you have all the finances, you have the ideal amount, you have the ideal family, the ideal life, in terms of having abundance, having nurtured energy, having everything that the Queen really stands for, and it's all there and ready for you. But I think what is interesting is it also always usually showcases a family, a really big family. So you might be hanging out with family on more of a like holiday sense. So you might be hanging out and exchanging gifts, or going to a family gathering of some sort. So that's something to be aware of, and when you are there, to be aware of, to really take it in, because they have a lot of lovely energy to them. Like, I feel like you might be learning things. You might be having those sorts of conversations with people where you like haven't ever talked to your uncle before, or something about, you know, his experience with this or that, and this is going to actually gain you experience that you haven't before, or gain you some knowledge that you haven't before, so that you can have this 10 of Pentacles, that you can gain more knowledge and more learning and more of that type of energy that they may have. So basically they have some wisdom there for you. You also had ambition and patience, which makes me think you aren't at this 10 of Pentacles yet. You're ready to exude this energy. You're excited about it. You're ambitious about it. You have your sight on it, right? Because you have here ambition, set your sights beyond the horizon. You're ready to look towards bigger and better things for yourself. But you're also looking at the very top of everything. You want the ideal life, the ideal job, the everything that you could possibly have in your material reality. And that is a lot to take in all at once. Very ambitious, which isn't always a bad thing, but it can get you into trouble if it isn't stable and if you don't let it come into its fruition in its own time. Because you also had here patience, right? So it's time to really set your sights beyond the horizon, but also be patient. It's going to take a while to get beyond the horizon, right? You're going to have to go on a whole journey here. You're going to have to learn. You're going to have this page energy, this research energy that you're looking for, right? So you might be seeking out answers from these people, seeking out conversation too, that can help you get to this like more stable energy that you're interested in. So be sure to talk to your family, your friends this week. Really ask them about what your ambitions are. Ask them their opinions on it if you feel like you'd be supported by them. Or if you don't, then find a way to like sneak it in without like, you know, trying to feel like they're like prying into your business, but you still get some of that wisdom. Definitely be patient though. It may not come all obviously in this week, because life keeps on turning. No matter what, so you're just going to have to take the punches as they go, take all of the energy as it goes, because it's not going to just come and you're just going to like get a wonderful bit of information from your uncle in this case, as I keep saying. And all of a sudden everything is going to just make sense and you'll have this come in. It's definitely going to take time, and you may already know the answer. You may already be intuitively, if you're asking questions or asking answers, you may just be checking in with them, making sure that what you already know, what you already have in mind, at least sits well with them, that you feel supported by them, or at least they understand where you're going, what your ambitions are, and where that's going to go. And personally, I know sometimes conversations with family members can feel supported or unsupported, and in this case, I feel like these people are here to support you, so really seek them out. And lastly, here you have refresh your space. So it's time to refresh your space entirely away from all of this, like bigger sort of energy. It's really time to clean your room, clean your space, or take a shower, cleanse your body or aura, anything like that you'd like to do. Refresh your space, refresh your energy. Click the reset button because you might need it. You might just need a little bit of downtime, a little bit of time of self-care, a little bit of time to process things if you need to. You have energy that's very similar to group 1, but specific in other ways. So there might be some energy between the two of them. So if you weren't able to choose between piles 1 or 2, this might just have to do with because of the patient's energy and the refresher space here. But with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and move on to your charms, group 2, because we love charms here. And we're going to just see what comes up for you this week. So group 2 here, group 2. Group 2, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for group 2, group 2, group 2. Okay, so you had a few charms that fell off of the board and on my feet, so I'm going to go ahead and cast them and see if they fall into the board. A couple of them did, so we're going to see that. I'm going to just, look around here to see what's going on. I'm always curious if you guys enjoy this section of the reading, as it just takes me a second to look through everything, sort things out, understand where it's all coming from, see why, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in. I hope I made sense with that. I don't think I actually said a real sentence there, but basically I was just saying if you guys enjoy me flipping around the different charms and figuring it all out. And if you guys would like to learn more about charms, let me know down in the comments below. I'd be interested to know if that'd be something you'd be interested in. But I'm blubbering on anyway. Let's go ahead and look at what you have here in your focus ring. So first off, right in the center, you have memories. So you have memories showing up. This is making memories, enjoying memories, reflecting on old memories, and the holidays can make people very nostalgic and it can make you look back at different memories that have been these are usually really lovely memories, but you might be reflecting on different types of holidays that you've had, or, you're getting back together with people or friends or family that you haven't seen in a while, so you feel like you have lots of things to tell, lots of tales to tell, looking back in time a bit. And you also have, again, you have the cycles charm showing up, so these aren't necessarily cycles you need to break, but just something that is showing up there in terms of cycles. So the cycles just have to do with you come around to the other end of the year. You're hitting the end of of 2020 here. So it's just sort of showcasing ready for a clean slate. So you have the refresh your space card here that showed up before, and then you have the cleaver charm, which showcases a very clean cut, a clean end of the cycle, end of the year. So it's time to just refresh your space before everything heads into the new year. So start to get those things and prepare the preparations for that. You also have here the little heart key. So this represents giving back to yourself, giving yourself some self-love, unlocking pieces of your heart. So this can be in a more like romantic sense. So you might be opening up to someone this week, especially with the amount of people you're socializing with. So you might be opening up or having conversations about your feelings or things like that. You're opening something, you're unlocking something that's been locked for a while. But for some of you, you might also be unlocking different memories or different feelings that you haven't really explored within yourself this week, because life keeps on turning, all these cycles keep happening, but you haven't really had the time to process some of it. So that might be happening for some of you as well this week. Lastly, you have the Swan, which is all about beauty and grace. And it also does have a soulmate sort of energy to it, as well as swans can be very romantic, and the fact that they I'm pretty sure they mate for life. You can fact check me if you'd like and let me know in the comments down below, but with the swan here, they are very beautiful, very graceful, very lovely to see. And so I really think some of you might be playing around with makeup this week. Some of you might be looking into your fashion or your looks, or just in general, giving yourself a little bit more self-care and love in a more beautifying element. So that might be coming in for some of you as well this week. Maybe even refreshing your fashion sense or changing things up there. You also have the Haya charm, which makes me think people that haven't reached out in a while are reaching out to you. They're saying hi, they're letting you know, they're texting you, talking to you, Zoom calling you, whatever it is for you, getting together in person, because you had all these different people showing up. So it really does feel like a very social week, either on social media or on other platforms or within your family and friend group. Although I feel strongly on the family side for some of you. And some of the people who might be reaching out are more of a groovy soul. So you have here the groovy charm. This makes me think of people who are more on the spiritual side, kind of groovy, 60s kind of feel, that crazy aunt feeling. So you have that, and then you have the letter S coming up here as well. So this, again, makes me think of style, changing up your style. So it might be something to do with that in terms of going back in time or looking at things that are more vintage. But you also have S showing up by the Haya charm. So that also can have to do with a name to someone who might be contacting you this week. You also have the penny, the pumpkin seed, and the gun here. And the gun represents something that has to do with don't jump the gun, don't try to go too fast, try to make something happen before it's ready. So don't jump the gun on a project or try to make something manifest before it needs to. And this really relates to that patience card and really does remind me of group 1. You guys, this maybe is an energy that's for the collective right now, but you have patience coming up with that ambition. So I feel like you're really shooting for the 10, because I don't know if you guys have ever opened up a pumpkin, but pumpkin seeds are very abundant in even just one small pumpkin. So it really makes me think of that 10 of Pentacles, abundance, finances, all that lovely energy in your material goods. And then you have the penny, which is in American currency, the 1 cent, the smallest you can get. So it really does showcase that you're still at the beginning of something. You may even be that page of swords that was showcased before, and that you're at the beginning of this energy. You're ready to start researching. You're ready to get started on it. And you have your mind set. You have so much ambition, but you have to make sure that there is, there's a lot of money between this, and it's going to take time and patience to get there, You also have the Eiffel Tower charm here. So the Eiffel Tower can represent, travel, but it can also represent setting your sights higher or setting your sights more ambitiously, as we've already talked about. But I do see that you might be questioning where you're going with all of this, right? And the other thing about the Eiffel Tower too is that the people that you're asking, because you have this letter Q here, which makes me think of questioning, I really thought earlier that you might be asking, like I said, I'm just going to keep using the uncle here. You may not have an uncle, but your uncle may be someone whom you could speak to, or any kind of family member you could just speak to, get some knowledge and wisdom from. But when you're asking these questions, they may not really understand exactly why, and the reason why may be because you're not telling them exactly why you're wanting to go towards these goals, because they may be a little bit different than people are used to. Because I don't know if you guys know the history of the Eiffel Tower, but the Eiffel Tower actually wasn't well received when it was first put in place. There were a lot of people who didn't enjoy it, wanted it taken down, hated the thing, thought it was ugly, and yet now, years later, it is a prized thing, a beautiful and proud thing for Paris. So it's just, you may have to change some minds and bring some clarity, because they may feel clouded or not confused about why you're asking these questions, possibly for business advice or just in general. You're really curious about their experience within these different goals and ambitions that they've already set their sights on and have been working towards for a while. So there definitely is some questioning there, and it may even be just in general, Q may be resonating with some of you, like the S, where it could be a name or place or something like that. Lastly, here you have the letter Y as well. So again, another letter showing up. So you have Y, Q, and S showing up in your reading here today. But you also have the scissors charm next to the sort of wish locket. So this makes me think of wishes and innocence and opening your heart up and all of that kind of stuff. And then you have the scissors charm, which represents something that you're cutting off or cutting away. So there may have been something that you had in the past with someone, maybe something that you were really excited about, that you wanted a family with or something like that, or you have these ideal situations that you're ambitious about right now. And like I said, some of you might be interested in someone, wanting to open your heart up to them, but this energy is sort of showcasing to me that you may be wishing for them and really wanting to manifest that forward, but the universe is kind of telling you, like, calm down. Maybe don't try to be so ambitious and scare them off. So that's also what's showing up here for you today. So with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and end it there for you guys and do a quick recap here. So you had that Queen of Pentacles, the King of Swords, and the Page of Swords, which are all showcasing to me that you may be this Page of Swords, seeking out someone, possibly a more masculine figure in your family or friend group, whom you can ask more questions, get some more clarity on what it is that you're seeking and your ambitions are towards with this 10 of Pentacles. So either an ideal life, an ideal job, or all of it possibly. You're very curious at this time and very ambitious. You have your goals set and you're ready to go. You also have the Queen of Pentacles coming up here, so a more stable energy that you can even reach out to as well, a more motherly energy as well, which you may be reaching out to. Or maybe they are coming in saying hi. Like I said, I felt like groovy aunt vibes. You also had the 10 of Pentacles, which I said you may just have too much ambition in right now, and it's not that you can't have these goals, but you need to be patient. They're not going to happen in a week. And lastly here, you may be asking questions about things you already know the answer to, you've already studied or learned on, but you're still seeking out advice. You still would like their mentorship or their help. So that might be coming in. You're refreshing your space, maybe changing up your style, beautifying things. You may be talking to people whom you haven't in a while, people whom were someone you've made a lot of memories with. You're also refreshing your space, not only in your style, but also possibly just needing a clean slate, possibly from someone whom you used to manifest forward and you're ready to manifest someone new, or it's just time to not, have them come in too fast, that you're trying to manifest something too quickly, because life is going to continue to turn in those cycles. Sorry, my throat had a little moment there, but I hope you guys enjoyed this reading here with me today and you found some clarity in your week. If you are getting together with anyone, please be safe. And also, please be sure to give this video a like if you did enjoy this reading and you'd like to help support this channel even further. It's very simple and I appreciate it so much. It's such a lovely gesture. Also, if you are interested in writing a comment, you can write one right down below past the description box, where you can let me know what these charms meant to you, if this resonated, possibly if you watched both piles 1 and 2. I'd be interested to see how they resonate for you. Any feedback really is very appreciated words. So thank you so much. And lastly, if you are new to the channel and this is one of the very first videos here with me, welcome, welcome, welcome to this community of tarot loving and charm loving people. It's lovely to have you here. I do these readings every single Monday on your weekly sort of forecast, but I also do readings at the beginning of each month on your blessings. So you can check that out after this video if you're interested in that on the current month. And lastly, I also do timeless videos too, like ones on your spiritual and magical gifts and abilities and what you're most proud of, and other ones I'm excited to start bringing out in the new year. So with all of that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Please be sure to subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Hello Group 3! If you've decided to choose this Rubik's Cube, then this is the pile for you. So I'm going to go ahead and set it down right down here so you can see it during your reading, as today we are going to be using the charms, the watercolor affirmations. We are also going to be using the Melodies oracle deck, and instead of a different kind of oracle deck, today I'm going to be utilizing my very first sort of divination tool, which was actually just a standard playing card deck. And I would recommend this to beginners who are not able to access a tarot deck at this time due to being in the closet, in terms of like the broom closet, or if you're not able to purchase a deck at this time and this is more accessible for you, whatever your reason is, if you aren't already able to get one, because I would recommend getting your own deck if you can over this. But if not, I mean, this is how I started, and I'm now here reading for you guys today. So it is a very valuable option. It does not have the pages, but it does have all of the different court cards and the different minor arcana. So it is a pretty well-rounded deck, but we're going to be using that here today, which is really fun. And lastly, we're going to be using this crystal unicorn deck, which is so much fun. I love this gentle energy of this deck, and it was actually chosen by my Instagram community and following, who all decided to choose this deck. At least it was overwhelmingly this deck, which was so much fun. So if you're interested in joining in on these different polls or other types of magical content that I put out, and also different private readings that I was offering last week and plan to offer again here soon, join on in, check out the community over there on Instagram. But let's go ahead and start looking into your messages, Group 3. All right, so Group 3, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for Group 3. Group 3 for the week ahead. Okay, so you had two flip over here in the deck. One of them being the Three of Wands, and the other one being here the Hierophant. That is your first two cards. Let's see what your final card is here from the tarot. So Group 3, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for Group 3 for their week ahead for Group 3. Looking for any energy, insights, or guidance coming in for Group 3. What do we need to know? Alright, and you also have here the Eight of Cups. So let's get some more information with this playing card deck. So Group 3, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for Group 3 for their week ahead. What do we need to know? So here you have the Seven of Swords, or the Seven of Spades in this case. Let's see your Melodies message here as well. So Group 3, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for Group 3. You also have Recharge. There's nothing like a walk on the beach to soothe the soul. Recharge. So let's see your final message here from the watercolor affirmations before we do the charms later on in the reading, so stay tuned for those. But group three, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for group 3. All right, you guys actually got far too many, so we're going to do that again. So group 3. Let's clarify this, group 3. Group 3, week ahead. All right, you also have here, use your voice. Use your voice. Oh, I'm hoping it'll actually show up for you guys here. All right, there it is. So use your voice, and as you can see, voice is actually spelled incorrectly, which was actually a problem on my part, but it actually makes me think that you need to use your voice more directly. Make sure that when you are using your voice this week, and I'll speak more on it in a moment, is to make sure that things don't get muddled up, the spelling doesn't get lost, those sorts of things. So that's sort of a happy accident that happened when making that card, but these are your messages, so let's go ahead and start breaking this down for you for your week, group 3. So first off here, I feel like you have like this new sunny energy and then this moon energy happening right here. So there's sort of this, I feel like there's 2 different sides to the story. So you have the 8 of Cups and the 7 of Swords here, and when combined together, it makes me think that you possibly were in a manipulative or not very honest conversations happening with someone, a relationship, possibly platonic, familial, or romantic, whichever one it is, and in the past or currently you're having to go through either a breakup with them or leaving them behind, or leaving behind for the good of yourself, because if you had someone who was trying to be sneaky, trying to get around you, trying to be dishonest with you, it's probably a really good choice to have already made this decision to leave, because you have all of these cups here, and these are your emotions. This is your emotion, your raw emotion, and you're ready to leave that behind, make a new journey. But in doing so, there is some healing that still needs done here. So be sure to continue healing on this path here this week, and continue to use your voice, especially if this was more recent. Make sure that they aren't continuing to try to sneak back into your life as well, because if they were sneaky and dishonest then, they're going to continue to be. So please be sure to, keep heading on your path, because even though you may be healing for yourself, you have to let them also seek their own healing and their own sort of process with this, and you have to have that distance there, that distance away from them. So use your voice, use your directive and assertive energy to create boundaries there that you need, emotional boundaries as well. They're going to be tied up in emotion. There's no way to not have that happen, but I do think that it's going to be healthy for you to move on from this situation, to recharge. There's nothing like a walk on the beach to recharge your soul. So I think that your soul was just getting lost in this relationship. These people who were not good for you, they weren't supporting you, they weren't supporting themselves or really letting you in. And so this was a good decision in terms of how the cards are showing it here. And then recharge. I just think it's time to recharge your life. And in doing so, I see you're seeking out something new, something sunnier, something more positive for yourself. Possibly something more to do with your solar plexus here as well, because the solar plexus showcases assertiveness as well and being confident in yourself again. So especially if you were in a relationship with gaslighting or anything like that, where you felt you couldn't speak your mind or use your voice, and you were now leaving and healing from that, this is the time to, let yourself be heard and try something new. So you might be seeking out a mentor at this time, seeking out someone whom you can learn from, because the Hierophant is tradition, it is learning, it is education, it's research, and it is apprenticeship as well. So if you are in training or at college or learning from someone or being mentored by someone, this is a really positive change for you. It's time to get some of that help and that healing. This can even be someone like a therapist as well. That could be someone you look up to have these conversations with and use your voice and have these discussions with. But you also have here the 3 of Wands, which showcases a new direction as well. So With the Two of Wands, it's when you're pondering and you're not sure where to go yet, but you have inspiration and have, aspired towards something. But in this case, with this Three of Wands, you're now looking at this boat in the distance, right? So you're looking towards a new goal, a new opportunity that is ready for you, right? You're ready to leave this behind and move on to a new adventure, which is really exciting. The healing is still going to be happening in the background, but during the day, that doesn't mean you can't, adventure, try something new, be a little bit more playful. And in doing so, you might be networking with people, you might be going towards this new goal that you've never got to do before. So maybe that's like running, or a new craft project, or possibly learning from someone for a educational reason, something like that. You're on a new adventure here, and it is yours, and it's one you're enthusiastic about and passionate about, and you have vision in too, because sometimes you can be inspired, but there is no vision, there is no direction to go, and you have that. So continue to seek it out, continue to seek out these mentors in your life. And recharge as well. I didn't really speak about it beyond just the healing process here, but I also think recharge too can be just really, your energy may just be depleted too, because when we use a lot of this energy, this fiery energy, just as fast as a fire can be, sparked, the fire can go out just as quickly. So especially with some of you who are possibly spoonies, or people who can't use all of their energy all at once, or just in general, if you feel like this week you've just been sort of low on energy, this may be because of all of this inspired ideas and all this research and this new pathway. It just might mean that you're just taking in a lot and not giving yourself enough energy back. So be sure that you're really taking care of your body, taking care of, putting nutrients in, and really drinking a lot of water, giving back to yourself, sleeping, all of those sort of general care things, which has sort of been a theme for a few of the groups here. So y'all need to take care of yourself during this holiday season. That's all I gotta say there. But with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and move on to your charms group 3, and we will see what you have there. I'm always curious, as always, to see what there is within the charms. Alright, so group 3, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for group 3. A week ahead. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn over some of these here so that you can see everything. We can look more into it. Okay, so it's like a whole message there, all wrapped up in one. Okay. Some repeats of energy here, but it's looking good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in so that you can see more of what's going on here on the board. As you have here in your central ring, a couple of different things happening here. So you have the 2 different charms showcasing opening yourself up to a new opportunity, right? So these are old cycles that you've been in, and now you are breaking them. So you have 2 different showcases here. So you have the jump ring, which is broken here, and then you have the cycles charm, which is broken here. And within those, you had here the inspired heart, I was going to just say inspired a bunch of times, the inspired and enthusiastic, passionate heart. So this is showcasing your creativity, your solar plexus, your sacral chakra sort of charm. It's showcasing you really getting out there and doing your thing. And you may have been wanting to do this for a while, but until you broke that cycle with someone who was holding you back in a toxic relationship, this can be friends, family, this can be a relationship with any kind of loved one, really. So I really do see that you, by leaving that and making that decision and leaving some of that behind and continuing to heal within that, you can break that cycle of you not being able to use your voice, not being able to be ambitious, not being able to look towards new horizons that you hadn't even considered before. And now that you can, it's so exciting to see. You've really opened yourself up to that opportunity, and I feel you are very committed to it, because you also have the ring here, which represents commitment. It represents also more legal matters too, things that are very set in stone. So I really do see you being more committed. This even could mean that what you're pursuing could be something less on a creative level, maybe more on a legal level, or like I said, something higher in terms of education. So I really do see like apprenticeship, trainings, going to college, psychology or legal sort of mattered type of degrees possibly that you're looking into, or types of smaller classes that you can learn on with some of that. So those sorts of energies could be coming in, or just in general you feel very committed to this goal that you're after, now that you have the chains per se to off, so that you can do it, so that you can feel more flexible as well to do so, because you also have the flexibility charm here with this little rubber band, which means you're snapping back too, right? Because with a rubber band, I'm not going to do it with this one specifically because it's starting to die a little bit, but you can pull out a rubber band and snap back. So I think you're really snapping back to some of your old self, like previously before the relationship, and then also bridging that gap. So you have sort of before the relationship, after the relationship, and like where you're going now and how that's all going to meddle together as you heal and continue to heal, because you do have healing being showcased here in its own specific corner. You also have the hacksaw, which means you're hacking something out of your life. You're just letting it go, and that does mean when you hack something out very quickly, like that the Eight of Pentacles, or not Pentacles, the Eight of Cups here. If you're cutting something off, it may not have been a clean cut. You may have hacked it away. There's saw marks. There's things that still need to be refined, that need to be looked into and need healing on. So there is healing happening. You might be talking to a therapist or talking to a professional this week or something like that, or in general getting back to yourself and healing, possibly through shadow work or something of that sort. Something you're opening up about too, because you have the bottled up charm here, which represents things that are really bottling up, things that have just, you can't fill this any higher. It is full. And on top of that, you have here the jump ahead charm. So this represents the spring. You're springing forward. You're letting that energy just continue to spring forward. And next to that as well, you have the silver lining charm, which does always get stuck on this charm. So I really do think it's more of a link. So I think you are really jumping forward, jumping and getting a jump start on your healing this week, which is really exciting, and I really commend you for doing that. It's a difficult step, and it's lovely to see you guys, or at least some of you guys, doing that. Outside of this, though, you do have someone new possibly coming in. This looks more like a friendship sort of charm, or not necessarily a friendship charm, but this represents someone in your life. But based off of the other charms that came near it, I see motherly energy or friendly energy, so like a friendship, because you have here the charm that showcases love, friendship, and loyalty. And then next to that, you have the charm of, again, loyalty or regalness, so being very uppity sort of in a way, but in this case it makes me think of more of like a Queen of Wands energy. So I feel like there might be a Queen of Wands energy coming into your life, which is someone who's very fiery, very chatty, very enthusiastic about your goals, and you may be collaborating with them because you have here so motherly or friendly energy of that sort that you're collaborating with, because you have here the bee, which is working together, teamwork, getting something done, and then you also have that queen bee energy. So be sure no one's trying to take over what you're wanting to, set forth on, trying to be the captain per se of this boat that you're heading towards, but that you guys work together equally, that you're really using your voice in this matter. You also have the mistletoe charm here, or holly. I'm not really sure which one it is, but basically this just gives me obviously Christmas vibes or Yule vibes. So you may be getting ready for some of those holidays just in general, or possibly your goals have to do with holiday themes at this time. And lastly, over here, you have the Greater Heights charm, because you have the, there it is. You have the giraffe charm. So this is a giraffe charm, which is very tall creatures, right? They're very tall animals. They have greater heights. They look, higher than anyone else. And they, have a greater perspective. And I think you're gaining a deeper perspective, or at least a more well-rounded perspective of what it is you're after, what it is you're ready to head towards, and what you're going to be team working with, either co-workers, friends, or some sort of Queen of Wands energy here showcased that you may be working with. So who are these people and what is the greater perspective? Where do you want to go with it? Really making those plans start to set forth, snowballing forward. Because you also have the dream, believe, and imagine charm showing up. So this is something you're very passionate about, and you're really putting those dreams and ideas that have been on the back burner because of this relationship that you can now pursue. Because I really think it had something to do with you feeling invisible, or they didn't have worth, because you have the snowman here, which is the invisible charm, right? It's something that's in the background, something you've been thinking about for a long time, and now you're putting it to light. You're letting it be seen, you're letting it be known, you're really standing tall with it, breaking those cycles of people who've been putting you down or not letting you use your voice, and rather than team up with them, you're healing from those sorts of situations so that you can converse and network with other people who actually have your support, who can back you up and really work towards this dream and goal of yours. So you have quite a productive week here, group 3. I really see you healing. I see a lot of healing, a lot of energy of healing from this past relationship, so you can recharge your energy, recharge your batteries. And in doing so, you might also be learning from someone who's this Queen of Wands or Hierophant energy. You're teaming up with someone whom you can learn from and gain knowledge from on a subject in which you want to pursue. This is a dream you've been very excited about, but you haven't been able to pursue, or you didn't have the tools or the people to teamwork with you to make it happen. And that's starting to snowball and create actionable change in your life. So definitely also use your voice this week. Make sure that your voice is being heard. As if you don't, it'll just continue to be the snowman. No one is going to see your goals or your ideas. So be sure to let them be heard. Make sure to let yourself be heard. So with all of that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading here with me today. You guys have, like I said, quite a bit of energy of healing and ambition mixed together, and how you're going to sort of balance those two energies you'll have to work through and to recharge your batteries here. But I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you enjoy your week. Please let me know in the comments down below if any of these different charms or cards resonated with you on any deeper or specific level. I'd be very interested to know and hear. Also, please be sure to give this video a like if you did enjoy this video. It really does let me know and continues to support this channel and this community of tarot and charm loving people. So thank you to each of you who have already liked the video or commented. I appreciate your support. And if you'd like to continue supporting even further on a deeper level and would like to subscribe to this channel or join this community, to those of you who are new, welcome, and I'm very excited to have you guys here. I do these weekly readings every single Monday, as well as timeless readings like on your spiritual and magical gifts and abilities, and other ones that I want to bring out into the new year. And you also can check out at the beginning of each month, I do a reading on your monthly blessings. So those are some of the big key points to my channel. So if you're interested in any of that, please be sure to join this community. It's so wholesome and lovely, and I'd love to have you guys here as well. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you in the next one. Wishing you the best for your week. Bye.